evening. Good evening. It is DJ Wonder Chrissy back at it again. It is Wednesday, December 13th. Wednesday. Coming to you from Chi-Town, Chirac, or Chicago. Whatever it is you want to call it, that's where we're at. Good evening. Let me bring this music down. Gotta love the music though. Get you in the mood. Get you in the mood for the show. So here we go. Yet another Migrant Mayhem show for you guys. I enjoy you guys coming and checking this out. Like, share, and subscribe if you would, please. It really helps with the algorithm. We're getting a lot of subscribers, getting a lot of views, and that's what we're here for, guys, to educate you on what is going on here in Chicago with the migrants. Okay, so today I have really not a lot of videos about Chicago. It seems like
is a financial tech company.
Seems like Chicago's gone on media lockdown. There's just not a lot of videos relating to the migrants. Seems kind of odd, but we're going to do something else tonight. We're going to show you what's happening in some of the other cities, right? Because I've said this before, whatever is happening in New York City is going to happen in Chicago, because we're, let's see, let me get this set up for you here. We're following the game plan that New York is following. So the disaster and whatever it is you want to call it, rolling disaster is what we're going to experience soon enough. So here's a video about food insecurity in New York, because there's not enough food to go around, and the city of New York was responsible for giving food to the food pantries and shelters and food kitchens. Well, now that they're cutting back all city budgets across all city departments, there's less food for the pantries, there's less food for the shelters, and they've got more people to feed. Because the food that they've been giving the migrants is so bad, I guess, the migrants are going to the food kitchens and the food pantries as their source of food, and the system is overwhelmed. So that's what's happening in New York. And for anyone that knows, New York, it's hard to find a grocery store. You got to go 5-6 miles sometimes to find a grocery store, and sometimes you just can't walk to them. Can't even walk to them. So let's watch this video here while we talk about what's going on with food in New York City.
Meals being served at local shelters.
So there have been reports that the food is spoiled and rotten, and as Fox 5's Lisa Evers shows us, it's leading to overwhelming demand at soup kitchens and food banks.
Food insecurity is a crisis for city residents as well as migrants here in Queens. A long-term problem for some residents of the Queensbridge houses as well as migrants in shelters where there are no cooking facilities. City Council member Julie One sees it all.
Every single day, I have migrants walking into my office with the food to show us rotten food, spoiled food.
One is proposing that the hundreds of thousands of dollars the city is spending on bad food in shelters that goes to waste be diverted to contracts with local restaurants. They'd be given support to expand and fill the need.
They could be brought into this ecosystem, and it could be helping the local.
So she's saying that the food shouldn't be going to vendors. They should be bringing in restaurants and delis and stuff in the neighborhood and paying them to provide food for people. Nice idea and concept, but can you see the amount of fraud and deceit that would go on there? I mean, they would be they would be just handing out food to their customers that they liked and charging the city. Or, you know, at some point they become dependent on the city, and if anyone shows up or not, they're charging the city for X number of meals on a daily basis just to get paid, just to get by. There is no silver bullet here, folks. I'm here to tell you that. But what she's describing here is nothing more but another big bottomless pit for potential fraud and mismanagement.
Economy, giving people jobs and saving small businesses.
We brought the idea to the owner of the Island Foodie restaurant of 40th Avenue.
Of course, he's not going to look money in
the
the face.
It's a lot. The more time they come in here and they ask us for food, we try our best to give them food every now and then, the best way we can.
Ernestine Smith runs her own nonprofit called Marion's Love Incorporated. She gets...
And you got to feel for this guy here. You got to feel for this guy that's running a restaurant. And, yeah, people in the neighborhood are always going to, you know, someone's down on their luck and come in looking for a free meal. That's part of being in business these days, folks. Everyone is looking for something free. Nobody has accountability anymore. Everyone wants something free, and you owe it to them. That's the attitude that you get in these big cities. Okay, so let's finish off this video.
Food every now and then, the best way we can.
Ernestine Smith runs her own nonprofit called Marion's Love Incorporated. She gets food donations and delivers them to pantries and also homeless on the streets. She says the need has never been higher for longtime New Yorkers, and now there are new arrivals.
I realize it is very little access to getting food from pantries and soup kitchens because of the influx of migrants.
Most migrants are in hotel rooms with no individual kitchens. At this shelter, we saw food being delivered. A supervisor who did not want to appear on camera told us the migrants have hot meals cooked for them, but not everywhere. With a shelter system over capacity, something has to give. Island Foodie owner Dwayne Palmer says Councilmember One's plan could be part of the solution.
As long as it makes sense for the people, it makes sense for my business, I'm all for the help.
The council member tells me that if those in the shelter system can have the hot meals, there will be more in the food pantries for those local residents in need. In Queens, I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News.
Are you going to let the greed eating?
All right, so there you have New York City. That's where Chicago is. That's where Chicago is headed, folks, right there. As I said before, Chicago's got the template from New York City, so it's going to end up that way too. So, only going to get worse here in Chicago. And as I said before I started the show, seems to be a media blackout on migrants today in the Chicago media for some reason. So we're going to check across the nation at some other towns that are going through the same type of situation. And here we have Denver. If you think coming to Chicago makes someone crazy, anyone that's willing to go to Denver this time of year should have their heads checked too. They get a hell of a lot more snow than Chicago. Probably colder too. But it's not a nice environment. So let's listen to our friend Lester Holt here and see what he has to say about what's going on in Denver. Okay, this is only 5 days old.
Crisis at the border. A record 12,000 undocumented migrants stopped in a single day by Border Patrol this week. And as Julia Ainsley reports, it's adding up to more strain on some of America's biggest cities.
Tonight, Denver joining the growing list of cities struggling to handle a record surge of migrants, with entire blocks full of migrants sleeping on the street.
Oh, it is a crisis.
Mike Johnston is one of 5 Democratic mayors recently writing President Biden saying action is needed to help cities address the crisis.
What's the one thing you want from the Biden administration right now?
When you admit someone for asylum into the country, they should get work authorization. We should expedite the process of approving that application so it doesn't take 4 years. It could take 30 days.
Johnston is under increasing pressure from counties outside of Denver that are not taking in migrants. Suburban Douglas County passing a resolution demanding Denver drop its status as a sanctuary city, a jurisdiction where officials won't enforce federal immigration laws. Critics say that attracts more migrants, with illegal crossings at the southern border this year at record highs.
What would you like to see the city do?
I'd like the city to actively proclaim that it is not a sanctuary city. I think it's important that we're not bringing people to a cold weather climate.
There are more than 2,600 migrants in Denver's shelter system, and now nearly 30,000 who have come through Denver in the last year, costing taxpayers more than $32 million so far.
Denver shelters are full, with some migrants now sleeping in tent encampments like these, where temperatures drop.
Those numbers are piker numbers, folks. Let me go back to that. 2,600 migrants in shelter? That's nothing. Chicago's got that at the airport. 30,000 migrants have come through. Well, where did they go? They obviously left. Chicago's got about probably about 25,000 now. Cost to taxpayer. They're very efficient though. $32 million. Chicago and the state of Illinois are going to have $550 million spent by the end of the year. These guys are only $32 million. My God, they're doing something right.
Costing taxpayers more than $32 million so far.
Denver shelters are full, with some migrants now sleeping in tent encampments like these, where temperatures drop below freezing at night.
It just seems like pretty inconvenient for them and for us. Really, a lot of people in this apartment complex are concerned.
Families with children are given priority in Denver shelters. We meet a group of adults who just arrived. Genesis from Venezuela said they don't know where they're supposed to go next. We don't know. We have no knowledge, direction, location, she tells us. Jan saying, we had to go through 7 countries on foot through the jungle. We came for the opportunity for the work permit.
Mayor Johnson says Denver expects to spend as much as $100 million on migrants in the next year, but they're only budgeted for $20 million.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated.
That would be a problem, wouldn't it? That would be a problem. So there's another town. They seem to be grappling it the same way as Chicago. And now here's the last video that I have for today. We'll finish it up with this video. I think you're going to enjoy this one. But let's just end off some of the discussion on Denver. Yeah, Denver's doing something right if they're only spending $32 million. Chicago itself has spent $250 million already this year. So it's not going to get any better, folks. The migrant crisis is just going to get worse. As I've been telling you, they're flying them into Chicago. You're not hearing that in the media. You're hearing it here. I have a friend who had a family member, came in from Tucson. The whole plane, over half of the plane was illegals. And, they're giving them different names now. It used to be illegal immigrants, then it became migrants. They're coming up all sorts of weird words to get around what it really is, folks, right? I forget what the term was I heard some other term like... I don't know, just like the unhoused, right? The homeless are the unhoused. They're trying to make it sound like there's nothing wrong with it, but they're sucking up the resources. You're going to see the minorities of Chicago have just about had it. They're done with migrants sucking up all their resources, all their freebies. And now's the time of year where people depend on freebies. Hate to tell you, but the holidays is when they all get free turkeys, they get free hams, they get free gifts, they get a little bit of everything free. And all that free stuff is going to other folks this year. So as you remember, the homeless vets, the homeless Americans, remember the homeless pets. So I'm going to finish today with this video that came from Fox Chicago about the South Suburban Homeless Society. And this got a surprise in it for you.
Society is launching a Home for the Holidays short-term foster program.
And Dane Placco explains how it works.
No doubt you're looking forward to a break over the holiday season, but you know who else needs a little time at home over Christmas? The dogs and the cats right here at the South Suburban Humane Society, like this guy, which is why
This video's going so well, it makes me want to drive down there and adopt an animal until we get about another minute into it.
So we're trying to get every pet in the building fostered out or adopted out in time for the holidays.
It's anything but silent right now at the South Suburban Humane Society in Madison, which is at capacity with 75 dogs and slightly under capacity with 50 cats. But they're trying to empty the shelter by Christmas, waiving adoption fees starting December 20th, and ramping up efforts to find people willing to foster an animal at home during the holidays, even if they have to bring it back after just a few days.
Even a short break from the shelter has been shown from a research perspective to lower their stress levels, and those lower stress levels continue even when they're brought back.
And they gain useful information about how that cat or dog behaves at home for future adoptions or fosters.
Success is...
There you have it, folks. What is this? Would you adopt an animal from this person? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Adoption retention.
What is that?
Sloan is the shelter's matchmaker.
How is he interviewing her without laughing?
For their situation. She says the best advice is to walk in the door with an open mind.
People tend to stick dogs in certain categories based on preconceived notions.
Matchmaker, okay.
Is, how they think a dog will act, but it's really important to get them to meet them, and that's really when the matchmaking can start.
I'm not sure I trust that person with anything.
Is open for visitors Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from 12 to 7. Saturday and Sunday, 12 to 5. Or you can go to their website online to see the animals available to take home for the holidays. In Matson, Dane Placco, Fox 32, Chicago.
There you go, folks. There you go. That's all I have for you today. Like, share, and subscribe if you would. I've got no nose rings. I got no tattoos on my face. I got no holes in my ears. DJ Wonder Chrissy. Do like and subscribe. It makes a difference, folks. It really does. It helps us get these videos out. Helps us get our numbers up, and that's helping us overall at the algorithm. Over and out, DJ Wonder Chrissy for Migrant Mayhem.